Well, hello there. Welcome back to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. Well, I'm going to try something a little bit different today. I'm going to do a little bit of a standing, walking review here, if you would. I want to share my thoughts today with you for just a few minutes about a Criterion Collection edition that came in my mailbox this week. It's the most recent release from the Criterion Collection here in September. And it's actually the first release for September from Criterion. And it's the beginning of what I consider to be the fall season, even though we're still in the summertime. Summer is beginning to wrap up, and we're now looking at the September, October, November releases, that exciting fall schedule across all physical media, and the Criterion Collection is a big part of it. Well, the release that I'm talking about that came in my mailbox this week is the release of the 1986 film from Neil Jordan of Mona Lisa. This is Mona Lisa, starring Bob Hoskins, Cathy Tyson, and Michael Caine. And this is a very nice addition from the Criterion Collection. So this is the 1986 film from Neil Jordan. This comes in at spine number 107 in the Criterion Collection. And it's actually a Blu-ray upgrade of the 2001 DVD that came out several years ago. So this is a very nice film. I had a chance to watch it the other night and go through the supplements. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what I think about the film. I'm going to tell you what I think about the video and audio presentation on this Criterion Collection Blu-ray. And I'm also going to tell you what I think about the supplements and the overall package. So without any further ado, let's talk about Mona Lisa. All right, so the story of Mona Lisa centers around George. He's played by Bob Hoskins in this film, and probably Bob Hoskins' finest performance, a highlight of his career. George is a man that's recently released from prison, and the only job that he can get is a job as a driver for a call girl named Simone, played by Cathy Tyson in this film. Michael Caine plays a mob boss named Mortwell, who hires George to be the driver for this call girl, Simone. And he basically is driving Simone around town from high-paying client to high-paying client. And that's really the only work he can get. He is also estranged from his daughter. So that's another dynamic that plays into the narrative of this film. But the main narrative of Mona Lisa really deals with the relationship between George and Simone. So Bob Hoskins' character and Cathy Tyson's character over the course of this film is the really big driving force of the story and their relationship with one another. Bob is growing in love with Simone over the course of the film. So it's really a matter of where will this relationship go? What are her feelings for him as he's developing love interest for her? So that's one of the dynamics that plays out in Mona Lisa that I think makes it very unique and different from a lot of romantic stories that you may watch. So I think that's one of the things that I would say about this film that makes it very unique from other films, is that the story goes in places that you wouldn't really expect. And it puts characters together that you really wouldn't, under any set of circumstances, think would fit together in Bob Hoskins' George and Cathy Tyson Simone. They're not characters that you would think would normally fit together. So seeing their relationship develop over the course of this film is very fascinating. I think another aspect of this film that's very fascinating is Neil Jordan's world building and how he films a lot of scenes in a railway hub called King's Cross in northern London. That is just such a fascinating backdrop for the action of this film. The way that he sets the scenes, the nighttime scenes in this area, really gives this movie a very unique feel. So the scenery and the setting that Neil Jordan presents to the audience in this film, I think, is also a really fascinating element of this film and just part of the visuals that you take in as you watch this movie. And part of what I found pretty fascinating about Mona Lisa. So let me take a minute to read to you the description from the back of the Criterion case here. It says, the brilliant breakthrough film by writer-director Neil Jordan journeys into the dark heart of the London underworld to weave a gripping, noir-infused love story. Bob Hoskins received a multitude of honors, including an Oscar nomination for his touchingly vulnerable, not-so-tough guy portrayal of George, recently released from prison and hired by a sinister mob boss played by Michael Caine, to chauffeur call girl Simone, Cathy Tyson, in a celebrated performance between high-paying clients. George's fascination with the elegant, enigmatic Simone leads him on a dangerous quest through the city's underbelly, where love is a weakness to be exploited and betrayed. Jordan's colorful dialogue and eye for evocatively surreal details lend a dreamlike sheen to Mona Lisa, an unconventionally romantic tale of damaged people searching for tenderness in an unforgiving world. And so that really aptly describes this film. And I just absolutely love the cover of this edition from Criterion. And it really speaks to the atmosphere that Neil Jordan sets for this film that I mentioned before, in terms of his depiction of that railway hub section of Northern England in King's Corner, and just the beautiful nighttime scenes and the sheen of the rain on the streets, and you see the traffic. There's a really nice look to this film that Neil Jordan is presenting, and I really, really appreciate it. I absolutely love this cover from Criterion. As I mentioned in the video that I did talking about the September releases for Criterion, this is the first of an epic month for Criterion of releases and covers. I love all the covers coming out from Criterion in the month of September. I mean, every one of these covers is epic, and this first release from Criterion starts it all for the month of September. It is a beautiful cover for Mona Lisa. All right, so let me take a minute to talk about the video and audio quality of this edition from Criterion. So what you're getting on this Blu-ray is a 2K digital restoration of the original camera negative. And overall, this high definition image from the Criterion Collection looks very nice. So this is a very nice high definition image for this film on this Blu-ray. You get a nice level of detail. You get some nice clarity and depth in the image. The image looks very clean. It's cleaned up very nicely. And overall, it just has a really nice organic look to the image. I think it plays really well into the art direction of the film and just the overall visual that director Neil Jordan is going for in this film. I think just looks really nice with this high definition image. Overall, the detail levels are very, very strong. They're stronger in some scenes than others. And I think even in the night scenes, you get a pretty fair amount of detail. Probably not the most detail that you would see in the shadows, but I think the night scenes resolve very nicely. And you just get a very nice high definition image for this film throughout most of the runtime of this film. There are some scenes that look a little bit sharper and better than others. You don't really get the sharpest looking presentation, but you do get a very nice high definition image with this disc from Criterion, and I think it's definitely thumbs up from a visual standpoint. From an audio standpoint, you get an uncompressed monaural soundtrack, and it sounds very good. Of course, music plays an important part of this film, with the song Mona Lisa from Nat King Cole playing throughout much of the runtime of this film, as well as a Phil Collins song, In Too Deep. And the music plays very nicely on this disc. The audio from the voices of the characters comes across very nicely, and you can hear everything that's going on within the soundscape and the sound field. So I think the audio sounds very nice with this uncompressed monaural soundtrack. It's not a 5.1 or 7.1 surround mix. It's not Atmos or anything like that, but it's good enough. It does the job for this film, and I could hear everything, quite nicely. And the music sounded, quite lovely on this disc. So overall, I have nothing but high marks for both the video and the audio presentation for Mona Lisa on this Criterion Blu-ray. As far as the supplements on this disc, you get some nice supplements on this edition from Criterion, including an audio commentary, which I always appreciate. You get a really nice audio commentary. It's from 1997, and it includes the director Neil Jordan and actor Bob Hoskins. So that was a very nice commentary that we got on this disc that I enjoyed listening to. You also get a new conversation with director Neil Jordan, actress Cathy Tyson, moderated by critic Ryan Gilbey, who did the essay that's included in the insert in here. And that was a really nice interview. It's a Zoom call. Of course, in these times, starting last year, a number of Criterion Collection editions featured Zoom calls on the supplements. And this was a very nice Zoom call that featured Neil Jordan and Cathy Tyson, where they talked about their experiences making the film. Cathy Tyson relayed her experiences as a very young actress at the time. She was only 20 years old when they shot this film. And so she relays her experiences and making this film, which was just so fascinating to listen to. And so that was a really nice Zoom call. You also get a interview from 2015 with screenwriter David Leland, and also another interview with Stephen Woodley, the producer. You also get an interview with Jordan and Bob Hoskins from 1986 when this film came out at the Cannes Film Festival. So that was very fascinating. And in that interview, you really get some insight from Neil Jordan on his interpretation of the story that he's presenting here. And that essentially it's a story about a man who doesn't really understand women and trying to navigate in a world that he can't understand women and is struggling to have meaningful relationships with women. And it's reminiscent of the song sung by Nat King Cole, Mona Lisa, where he talks about the woman with the mystic smile, unattainable or mystic or mysterious and hard to understand, and hard at least for this man to understand in this film. And that's part of what Neil Jordan was going for, was that Bob Hoskins' character, George, was a man that just struggled to understand women. It was just interesting hearing Neil Jordan's perspective at Cannes Film Festival about this film. So overall, I think the supplements that you get on this disc from Criterion are quite strong. It's not a stacked edition by any means from a supplement standpoint, but you do get that audio commentary. You get some very nice interviews. I really enjoyed that Zoom call with Cathy Tyson and Neil Jordan, as well as the other interviews with the writer and the producer. So you get some nice supplements that really help you better understand this film and what's going on in the narrative of this film. In addition to that, if you look inside this package, you'll see you get some very nice artwork on the insert. That's, of course, artwork of Cathy Tyson. And the disc itself has a very nice look to it. On the inside of the disc case itself, you have some very nice looking artwork. This is sort of a portrayal of the rain-soaked streets of London that is portrayed in this film. And you also get a sort of a similar motif in this painting on the cover, and just beautiful, beautiful artwork. I mean, like I said, the covers for September are epic, and it starts with Mona Lisa. I mean, this is absolutely beautiful. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the covers for this month of September releases and what you think about Mona Lisa's cover. Absolutely gorgeous in my mind. On the inside, you get this nice, of course, picture of Cathy Tyson. You also get a nice image here of Bob Hoskins there, the late, great Bob Hoskins. And you get a very nice essay in here called Underground Aaron by Ryan Gilbey. He is the critic who did the Zoom call with Jordan and Cathy Tyson that's included on here. So you get a very nice package with this edition from Criterion, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it. This is a very nice film. I definitely like the film. I'm not sure if I would go so far as to say I love it, but I definitely like this film from Neil Jordan and this overall edition from Criterion. It's definitely recommended. The film is a very nice film. It's very different than what you would normally see in a romantic type film of relationships between men and women. It's very different. And I think that is something very positive about this film. The video and audio presentation is very strong, and you get some very nice supplements as well that really round out this edition from Criterion. So overall, Mona Lisa comes recommended. So let me know in the comments below, what do you think about this film? What do you think about these actors in this film? And what do you think about Neil Jordan? And have you seen other films from this director? I think this is the only film from this director, Neil Jordan, that I've seen. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this film from Neil Jordan and what other films from this director that you would recommend, and how Mona Lisa ranks in the filmography of Neil Jordan. Let me know that in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time in the movies. Peace.